What's happening, guys? Happy St. Patty's Day. It is Friday, and it is actually a review that is done beforehand, but I did it for you guys so you could enjoy this review on St. Patrick's Day. I picked two beers that are very fitting for this holiday, and it's going to be, of course, Guinness Draught, if you will, Nitro, and then we have O'Hara's Irish Stout Nitro, which I have not had, so disclaimer, have never had this before. I don't really drink Guinness. I don't really drink Irish Stouts too often, maybe a couple times a year at most. So this is one of the first times of the year that I'm going to be having a Guinness. And again, I'll be sharing my experience with you guys on the O'Hara's Irish Stout, on if I like it or not, okay? So Guinness, I've had before. O'Hara's, I have not. Which one of these is better for St. Patrick's Day? Which is the superior Nitro Irish Stout? Let's dive in. Let's check this out. Okay. We all know Guinness. I think it's 4.2%. We have O'Hara's 4.3%. Very similar beers. Let's just be honest. It looks like it's almost identical, but let's investigate the differences. So, Guinness Draft. Let's see. Wow. Explosion. That's not normal. So, we're going to go ahead and still pour this in my official Guinness glass at a 45-degree angle for you beer snobs. Okay? So, let's see. The thing was really amped up. That was nutty. Look at this beauty, bro. I love it. I love it. So we're going to go ahead and give that a nice little pour. Okay. Official Guinness glassware. Sorry, don't have any O'Hara's glassware. I apologize. O'Hara's Irish Stout. That must be the widget technology they're talking about. Woo, that was sweet, man. That was crazy. Okay. Going to a pour, 45-degree angle. Okay, ooh, a little aggressive. So as we're pouring, we've got some nice creamy nitrogen. All right. And now we're gonna let these settle out a little bit, guys, and then I'm gonna look at the appearances and see what the differences are. So as we're looking right now, boy, the Guinness settled out pretty quickly with a bright white, creamy, milky head sitting on top. O'Hara's, well, still settling out, but it looks like it has a little bit more like tannish white in there, but it's extremely similar. It has just a little shade darker. Yeah, that looks great. These both look great. They're about evening out to be the same. Look at that. Look at that. So these are nearly identical, I would say. Hard to even see a difference. Maybe a little bit more tannish, bigger bubbling in the O'Hara's, but still both very creamy and milky and frothy, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to a Guinness aroma. Oh yeah, baby. Dark milk, chocolatey goodness, baker's chocolates. Roasted espresso coffee. Molasses. Roasted malts. Little lactosey, milky quality, little minerality. Now, O'Hara's. Let's check it out. First time having this one. Boy, they're tough to decipher a difference. That one might have like a touch of like cocoa, a little bit in there, like cocoa dust, cocoa powder. Maybe a little bit more robust toastiness in the roasted malts. Yeah, like I guess Guinness seems a little bit softer, just a touch. This seems a little bit more roasty and stouty. A little bit more dark chocolate, a little dark fruit cocoa powder in there. So slight, but yeah, it smells more roasty than the Guinness for sure. Guinness seems smoother on the aroma. I guess that's a for sure. They both smell really good though. And look, if you look at these things. They're identical, man. Like it's tough to even see a big difference. A little bit more bubbling and carbonation in that O'Hara's. A little bit more slightly beige, I'd say, in that tan head. But let's dive in. It's Guinness. Cheers. Happy St. Patrick's Day. So smooth. Soft, roasty notes. Extremely smooth. That lactosey, milky minerality. Slightly bitter on the back end. Those roasty, dark chocolatey espresso notes. I'm getting a little bit of that. But so light and airy through the middle. Just not a ton of roasty quality going on. Just a little hint of that. And it's watery through the middle. Now as I jump over to the O'Hara's, let's see the differences. It's got more grit. It just has a little bit more grittiness to it. A little bit more of that roasty espresso. That cocoa thing that I was getting, or cacao for you cacao snobs. I get a little bit of that. It's like that cocoa dusted almond. And I don't think that nuttiness is as noticeable in the Guinness. Like there's that watery smoothness through the middle on that Guinness that makes it a little bit more silky. This one's a dash more roasty, a little bit more robust, a little bit nuttier. But very similar. I'm trying to decide which one I like better. I like maybe a little bit more of this pull and grit on this O'Hara's. A little more of that astringent bitterness from the coffee on the back end. A little bit of that charred, dark chocolate. Again, that little tiny cocoa dusted almond thing, that just slight nuttiness. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Guinness is smoother for sure. Less roasty, less pronounced, less gritty. Definitely a smooth, watered down version of O'Hara's. I'd say O'Hara's has just a little bit more to it. There's more layer and layers. So there's just a little bit more going on the palate. But you have to like roast. You have to like that roasted char espresso. You have to like the dark chocolate bitterness. That has more of it. So if I'm deciphering which one I like more, the O'Hara's just has more grit. I think there's more calories potentially in this. There's a little bit more substance. The Guinness, well, if you look on the back, only 125 calories, which really isn't that much considering it's a dark beer, but the ABV is very similar on these, so I'd love to look that up and see the caloric differences between these two beers. But the O'Hara certainly has more pull, more substance, and more layers to it than the Guinness does. It's really good. I mean, you still get that smooth, creamy, watered feeling. But I think the Guinness is just, it's softer, it's more creamy, it's a little bit more watery, if you will. But as far as like the nitrogen, it seems like Guinness is smoother. But it's hard to say because, again, the O'Hara's has more grit. So the smoothness, very similar. I just think that the Guinness has less substance and less layers to pick through. So if I'm picking one, guys, well, I'm more of a craft beer guy. Maybe the O'Hara's is for me because it has just a little bit more to it where you can pick and decipher between different things. Has a little bit more Irish stouty roastiness to it. It just has a little bit more going on. So if I'm going to pick for St. Paddy's Day, the O'Hara's Irish Stout wins, and it's just because it's a little bit more complex than the Guinness. But if you're going for crushability and you just want to down pints in Middle Ireland, probably still going to pick that Guinness. Now, official rating, I'm going to go O'Hara's is a 3.79 out of 5. I'm going to do the Guinness is a 3.69 out of 5. That's where I stand today. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you have a safe and wonderful St. Patrick's Day and enjoy yourself. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't do anything I wouldn't do or do. So, over and out, guys. Cheers.